Here we are. So can everybody see my screen? You could see new year, new perspective, confidence.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. 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 So I'm so happy that you decided to join me tonight. And we're going to be digging into this concept and this topic of new year, new perspective. I titled this webinar that because over the past 7 years of coaching, I can't believe I'm in my 7th year. Just starting my 7th year, I have found that we all have what we need to thrive, but sometimes we just have to step back to get a new perspective on what it is that we have around us. That's what it's all about tonight. Like I mentioned, I'll be recording this to give to the women that registered. So don't worry about taking notes if you don't want to. You could stay present to what we're discussing and what we're sharing. I would love for you to use this as a tool to start your journey. You can go back and do the work that I talk about through the webinar, so you could really spend some time reflecting on this work. So I'm going to ask you this question. What mile marker, now this is awesome. I love this term, mile marker. This comes from Mel Robbins. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Mel Robbins, but she calls our different stages in our life, our age, our mile markers, right? So understanding now what road you're taking to go to, what mile marker are you on at this particular time? Go ahead. If you want to share your mile marker, I'm going to put my mile marker in the comments. This is the mile marker I'm at right now, 57. The road you have always taken or the new perspective road? Where do we want to be? We have 53 is a mile marker, 40.
Is that meant to be out of 100 or?
Oh, no, your age. Your age. What is your mile marker right now in your life? What is your mile marker? We have someone that's going to be 50, 58, 68. These are all being aware of what our mile marker. Oh, sorry, 59. Claudette. Being aware of these mile markers are so essential in our journey because it helps us reflect what's going on now versus what happened in the past, because sometimes we have to pull those past experiences in order to create this new perspective on what we have, okay, in our life. So now that we have all our mile markers out there, how do we feel about stating our mile marker? Were you nervous? Were you afraid to share? Because I think a lot of us maybe have been grown up to be like, you don't talk about your age. But I truly believe, and I've found over time that my wisdom at this age, I'm proud of being where I am at this particular age. And it allows me to create the confidence moving forward into this year because of my mile marker. So thank you so much for sharing your mile marker with us. So this is me. For those that don't know me, I'm Pam Drzwicki. My mile markers, and I'm an entrepreneur and business owner for 7 years. So I changed my career 7 years ago from 28 years in the insurance industry. So to age 50, that was my mile marker. That was the big thing that I did. I'm a wife of 13 years. It's my second time around. So my mile marker, if I think, I'm really bad at subtracting quickly, but you think about that. If I'm 57 minus 13, that's 44. I was 44 when I hit that mile marker. I've been a mom for 17 years. So my mile marker at age 40 brought that beautiful journey for me. And now I'm a proud Nana of 14 grandkids. Our son has a goat farm. So, and I've been a Nana of 14 goats, kids, they call them, for 20 months now. These are some of my mile markers. This is how I when I'm referring back to what I've created, it's these ages that have taken place and what's created at those times. And from all of this, I find that I love helping women thrive through my coaching. Some women on the call today are in my groups and have individually coached with me as well. But through my coaching, my group coaching, accountability groups and workshops, books and speaking. And part of my next journey is going to be going full time on the road in the next few years. And that time frame is getting shorter. And on the road, I mean selling the house and we're taking the RV and we're going out traveling. So I'm in Connecticut right now. Where's everybody else? You want to share where you are? Just type it in the chat and let me know where you're coming in from. Minnesota, Connecticut, Spring, Texas, Houston area, Illinois. While you're thinking about this and typing where you are right now, I want you to have in the back of your mind, is this the place where you want to stay? So when you're creating your new perspective, this is part of the whole journey, right? Like, is this where you want to stay? Like, I was born and raised in Connecticut. I never lived any place else. So moving on and selling the house and traveling is exciting for me, but it's also very scary for me. So that's a way that I need to look at my new perspective on this next journey. So think about that. Is that a place where you want to stay and where you're going to grow over the next year, over the next 3 years, 5 years, whatever it's going to take you on? So this is a little bit about me. And thank you. Somebody wrote, I didn't see who wrote that, but somebody wrote that they liked the picture. Thank you so much. I had a branding photographer a couple years back take these pictures for me, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. So what we're going to do and talk about tonight is 3 ways to thrive. Tonight, I'm going to dig into the 3 ways you can thrive. We'll be going over each area, and I'm going to provide some action steps you can take to help you channel them. Knowing your strength, we're going to talk about the power of resilience, how curiosity can enhance your journey. You have what it takes inside you. We need to identify that and then nurture that. And that's why I found this topic so fascinating, because a lot of times we set these New Year's resolutions to do these new things that we haven't done before, and we're just saying them, but we're not understanding what we have inside us to actually identify that and then nurture it to make it into an actual habit and to achieve that and reach that goal. So just remember, whatever you tackle, you're going to be amazing at it, no matter what the outcome is, because you stepped out. You stepped out to do something different. And when you get started, the one thing that you'll find that each one of these things, each one of these areas is going to help you thrive, because it's going to bring awareness. It's going to be more awareness to what you actually have inside. So after we review these topics and work together through them, I'm gonna offer you a way to continue your work by possibly joining the Empowerment Circle. And what the Empowerment Circle is, it's your monthly retreat. Your retreat to knowledge and the power of saying yes to yourself and giving you grace, just like you did today. You spent some time and said, yes, I want to learn more. So there's more to come about that. And it's a tremendous opportunity that I've been working on. But please, please just stay until the end of this webinar so that you can experience what you truly have inside of you to thrive. When we're done going over these 3 areas, I'll ask you if you want to stay to learn more about the Empowerment Circle. And if you don't, please, please feel free to jump off. No hard feelings. It's designed to be an intimate space, and it's only taking up to 15 women that will be part of it. So it's essential to have the women ready to be part of the Empowerment Circle. So if you are interested, let me know. Okay. I like to get all that housekeeping up front so that we can really focus on what's at hand now. So are you ready to get started? Yes? Ready to get started on these areas. Feel free to pop on, ask any questions along the way, or use the chat. I'll do my best to stay focused on both areas. The first thing we're going to be talking about is to know your strengths mentally and physically. And by doing that, you can take the following steps. So I encourage you to have time to self-reflect on what makes you strong mentally and physically. It may, when you're thinking back at that time of when that was, when you felt strong mentally or physically, you might have felt exhausted afterwards. But what was going on at that time? If you sit for a second right now, can you think of a time in your life that you felt that your strength mentally or emotionally, physically was key into getting you through a certain area of time? If you do feel that, just write a yes. You don't even have to explain it. You could just write yes or no. But when we're really knowing our strengths, it helps us take this next journey even more. And it helps us understand when we come across something that may be similar and how we could pull from that. Okay, so consider what activities or situations brought out maybe your best qualities and made you feel more confident and capable. When I was earlier married and going through things, I had to, in my first marriage, I had to find the strength that I needed to get through. So when I come on difficult situations now, I reflect back to what I've been through, and I've come out on the other side of that, and it helps me understand the strength that I had is giving me the strength to move forward. That this situation that I'm going through might not be as bad as what I had gone through in the past. So being aware of these times, but we know that life really gets in the way, and we have really good intentions of understanding what our strengths are. And then all of a sudden, bam, right? All of a sudden, everything starts coming at us. And what we're feeling is that all of a sudden things are taking over. Negative self-talk is starting to come out for us, right? You're no good at that. You struggled with that before. You can't do that again, right? Or we're giving up too easy. You know what? That's too hard. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I don't want to go through this again, right? or you're avoid seeking the help that maybe you need. You're avoiding reaching out to somebody on your dream team or talking to a coach or a therapist to help you through something because you don't want to seem weak. There's so many ways that could take over our strengths that it's really essential to understand what those strengths are so we could work on keeping them close to us. So I put a mantra up on the screen. I will make consistent effort, engage in self-reflection, and be willing to step out of my comfort zone daily. When we're writing some kind of mantra and we're reading something like that daily, it shifts our mindset. So when these other things happen and start taking us away from what our strength is, and we start overexerting ourselves and not being able to set boundaries around our time, or we start comparing ourselves to other people. How many people do that? You see us on Facebook. Oh, that must be nice. Look at her. She went here or she went there, or she's always cooking, or avoid comparing ourselves with others because the interreflection of our strengths and our qualities, we know what they are and we're going to embrace them. So making sure that you're putting that oxygen mask on yourself so you don't neglect your self-care is essential in knowing your strength and keeping it. So when we look at what's holding us back, we can then decide if we want to shift a place to growth, remembering that. All of a sudden we're like, oh yeah, this is not feeling right to me. I need to go in and grab my strength, go in and grab my superpower to help me move forward. So I'd like you to write this mantra down later or now if you want to, or take a picture of the screen, because writing this or having this next to you and having it part of your daily activity, maybe you do daily prayer or daily journaling or meditation, having that time for yourself to increase your strength, just like your physical strength. We need to walk or need to lift weights. It's the same thing that we need to do. So please take a picture of that if you'd like, or you could come back through the recording. By reciting this mantra, like I said, you're going to start tapping into what your strength is, and you will show up there on a regular basis. I don't know about you, but that excites me when I get to spend some time focusing on what makes me strong. So parts of things that make me strong is part of my core values. One of them is my faith. So that is part of my strength. Laughter, relationships, all of those things of your core values are part of your strength. So love to hear, does anybody have a strength that they want to share? And if so, go ahead, put it in the chat or come off of mute. You could share it, but I'd love to hear what other strengths so other women could see that they're not alone in their strengths. So my strength is my daily morning routine. That's my strength. I have a very strong strength about keeping to a routine that feeds me. And that has come about over the past, I would say, 5 years. I would say in the past, that was not my strength. Busyness, a badge of honor of busyness was what took over my mornings. Now, this is what my strength is. So that's where I would love for you to start thinking. So the next is resilience. Resilience takes time and effort. It's really a skill that can be developed through the practice of self-reflection. So we go back to the strength of reflecting on our strengths. It goes back to self-reflection. And these build on top of each other. The knowledge of our strength, our ability to be resilient, or our ability to adapt. By taking these action steps, like creating time around your growth mindset, growing that, a strong support network. I call them our dream team. I was reading the other day, someone that I was reading was identifying them as your stretch team. They're a team that stretches your thoughts. I thought that was fascinating, right? So I call it my dream team, but what community do you surround yourself with to help you through things? And then really developing your coping skills. Coping skills, right? When we're creating our coping skills, it's helpful to think about that ahead of time so that when challenges come, you're prepared for them, right? Like, what is your coping skills? It's interesting. It could be, you cope when you're stressed. You have hobbies or journaling, or you're part of exercise club or walking, or you cry. That might be a coping skill. I know back in my early 20s, when I was in the insurance industry, I was in a meeting with my district manager. And I don't know what he said or what he did, but all I do know is I remember crying after whatever he said to me. And he looked at me and he was kind of like, "Why are you crying?" And instantly it came to me. These are my coping skills. I cry when I'm happy, I can cry when I'm sad, and I cry when I'm mad. And right now, I would say I'm crying because I'm mad. So it was an understanding that I learned that lesson. That was a coping skill for me, crying. Other coping skills is going for a walk for me, or praying. Those are coping skills that help me get through difficult times. So when you're thinking about these three things, your growth mindset, what are you doing to grow your positive mindset on a daily basis? Who are you surrounding yourself with? And how are you coping with difficult situations? Things that we should not do when we're trying to build our resilience is to avoid challenges. Sometimes a challenge is what stretches us, right? Have you ever been in a situation that you could have said no, but it was a challenge? I know for me, it was flying a glider plane. Okay. Like I flew a glider plane and I was ready to say no, but I worked through it. And now I could say that I actually flew a glider plane and it was exhilarating. So I didn't avoid that challenge, and that gave me a piece of being more resilient. Dwelling on failures, another thing that we should try to avoid. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And what are we going to learn from them instead of dwelling on them? Because we can't go back and change them at that particular moment. You will be able to change maybe how you react in the future. And that goes with your coping skills. And then the last thing that we should not do as we're growing our resilience is resisting change. Like I said, selling the house, moving out of Connecticut. That's a big change for me. And believe me, there's some pushback and some resistance going on there. But how amazing is it going to be if I get more resilient around it, and what the experience is going to be? That if I didn't do that, what would I be missing out on moving forward? Resilience is the superpower to tackle anything, tackle anything. Which one, if you want, type in the chat, which one do you think that you want to work on? Is it something in the create resilience column, the growth mindset column? Or is it something that you want to work on not doing, like avoiding the challenges? Which one do you think resonates with you? Dwelling on failures. Yes. Yeah. That's really a big topic. And I really believe, especially for women, we have a habit of dwelling on things not going just as we plan. So, Chris, I would definitely think about ways that you could help combat that feeling you get if you fail. And what is your definition of failure? You know, sometimes we have to switch that definition because that goes back that it's not part of our growth mindset. It's part of our negative talk. Does that make sense? So thanks so much for sharing that. Anybody else have anything else to share? So we're seeing other things and we're not feeling that we're alone. Support network. Yes. Yeah. So that's something you want to create, Claudette, is that support network. Or do you already have one that you're currently being part of? Which one is that? You currently have a support network? Coping skills. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Working on coping skills. These are awesome. It's so good, right? To see looking to build a business network. Claudette's looking to build one. That's awesome. So it's so great to see how we're all similar, even though we're in different ages or we're in different places, we share similar things that we want to work through. And that's what's so beautiful about a community, right? It's so beautiful about a community. Okay, great. So the next thing we're going to go on to and we're going to talk about is curiosity enhancement. Do you notice that when we're younger, we're curious to do new things? I mean, I notice it when our daughter was younger. She used to sing in front of in church in front of 300 people. Yes. Was she nervous? Yes. Did we have to work a little bit with her? Yes. But she did it. Today, at her age now, at 17, she probably wouldn't do it. So it's interesting as we age, we feel we need to be safer in our decisions. That's how we get caught up in doing the same thing and not looking through the lens of for a new perspective. I mean, I know like I stayed in my career of insurance for 28 years because it was safe. It was safe decision to be there. It probably wasn't the best decision to be there, but it was a safe decision that I thought to be there at the time, right? So if I had some of this curiosity enhancement going on back then, maybe I would have made a move sooner. But the curiosity enhancement took place when I got a promotion and I wanted to be a better leader. So I hired an executive coach and she helped me be a better leader. But then also my curiosity enhancement coached me out of the business where I thought I was going to retire. So you see how that could work. That could really get your juices flowing on what's possible. It really prompts us, at least for me, to ask why, and really seek deeper understanding. By questioning the assumptions and the beliefs that we have taken for granted, curiosity could lead us to new insights. Again, bringing us to that new perspective. And it's all inside of us. When being curious, think about the last time you had tried something new. How did it feel? When was the last time you tried something new? I'm trying to think, the last time I tried something new was, making my own bread. I got a starter thing, a sourdough starter kit from a friend, trying something new, feeding it. She's like, you got to feed it in order to bubble it up and to make more bread, right? So that is something that's something I've never done before. So that is something that I'm starting new on, and that's the curiosity enhancement that happened there. So exploration drives us to explore those new ideas, places, and experiences, while questioning encourages us to question the status quo and challenge conventional wisdom, meaning it really gets us to say, why can't we do that? Why do I need that? What do I need to feel more fulfilled? How are you going to enhance your curiosity? Can you think of anything right now, like a certain area that you would like to enhance your curiosity in? It could be in your career, it could be in your fitness, your nutrition, your religion, your makeup, your hair, like what areas do you feel that you're called to learn more about, to experience more? Okay, so Chris says that she recently got laid off, and now I'm trying freelance work. I've done this before, so it's scary, but you're doing it. And that is huge. So the curiosity there is you're pulling, right? You're pulling from your strengths of what you did before. And you're resilient because you have that in place. And now it's scary because you're doing it again. So understanding the enhancement there. What is your enhancement to make this different than last time? Give that some thought and see if that helps in this particular journey. We're not all meant to be in the same place our whole life. It all depends on the chapter we're in. And that's the reason why we stated our mile markers in the beginning. And that's the reason why I shared with you what happened at different mile markers in my life, because where I thought I was going to be at age 40, delivering my daughter, is different than where I am now at age 57. So 17 years has brought so much life to me. So it's never too late to try something new. It's never too late to experience the strength and your resilience and your curiosity. So while we're releasing our fear of failure to embrace the enhancement that can come out of our lives when we are curious, opens those gates of the comfort zone, right? So feeling that, okay, I can do this. If we take all three of these and put them together, it gives you the idea and the space to design this new perspective that you have for 2024 or beyond. So stop underestimating yourself. When I was doing this slide, I was thinking, how could I bring this together? And what I thought of is just saying stop, and that came to me. Thank you. Saying stop came to me because the other morning I was thinking, which I do all the time. I mean, we all think, but my brain is always going. And I just had to say to myself, stop, stop, stop overanalyzing, and stop underestimating what you have actually created, and embrace what is going ahead, and understanding what it is that will catapult you when you stop and pause. and just take a breath, right? Can you feel that? Like if you read this slide and you just say, stop underestimating myself, stop underestimating me, and say that 3 times. And while you're saying it to yourself, take a big breath in between each time and blow it out and feel the strength and your resilience and your curiosity just start blossoming inside you. Really embrace the remarkable facets of you being and diving into this journey of self-discovery, and uncover new perspectives by tapping into your strengths, fostering your resilience, and cultivating the curiosity. I really would love for you to challenge the boundaries of your comfort zone. What is it that you could do today? And most of you people that know me, I ask this question often. What can you do just for today to make you feel strong, to make you feel resilient, to spark your curiosity? What can you do just for today? And by doing that, and it's enabling the wonders that you have within you to lead you towards your personal growth and more enriched life experience. You know, my friends, we are made of wonder. Remember that as you face each day, a walking, talking marvel of possibilities that you are and potential, embrace it, and let your unique brilliance shine. Because when we are in tune with what our unique brilliance is, there's nothing stopping us, because we are who we are meant to be. We are the wonder we are meant to have. So you are made wonderful. You know, Audrey Hepburn said this, and I love this quote. The most incredible thing you can wear is your own aura of wonder. Embrace your uniqueness, for you are living, breathing masterpiece. How many of you feel that you could recite this quote and actually feel that it's true? I know for me, it took many, many years for me to feel that this is the truth about me. And there's days that, like, I had to say stop to myself and reread this and make myself understand and read that mantra to bring me back. So know that no matter where you are on the journey, you may go up the road and have to do a U-turn and go back straight again. And it's okay. It's really okay. So right now, I would love to open the floor to any additional questions or thoughts that you have. And I really appreciate you being here. And if there's any questions, please go ahead and send them. You could unmute yourself or you could put them in the chat. Also, I would love to hear, what is your biggest takeaway? Where do you think you're going to start if this really resonated with you? You know, I know for me, when I was putting the presentation together, my biggest takeaway was how when I started thinking about this and setting New Year's resolutions, and how by January, a lot of them are normally gone because all of the old habits start coming in again. I found that by really working and journaling and meditating and praying around this, these 3 really came up for me. And they came up because I started thinking about how I started the business and what I've accomplished over the past 6, 7 years. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I need to share this. I need to share this with other women so they could feel that as well. So I really appreciate you coming tonight. There's my email address and my website. If you want to stay on and hear more about the Empowerment Circle and how you can enhance your confidence and awareness during that time, please do. I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit about that. If you do need to jump off, that's okay. I'm okay with that too, but I do really appreciate you coming, and I would love to hear your insights. So feel free to reach out and email me on that.
You know, Pam, as I was listening to you talk about these three things, it was interesting because what was impressed upon me was whatever's going on in our life, it doesn't really not necessarily be something we're going through as in a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what's happening in our life right now. We're starting a new job. We just had a new child. We just had a new grandchild. There's always something happening in our lives. And how do we embrace that? How do we embody that? How do we integrate that into what's already there? And it was interesting because I look back as you were talking, I was thinking about, there has been times where knowing my strength has been what let me do that. Because I could say, I've been here before. I've taken on a job before where I really didn't know if I was qualified for it or not. And I'm really capable of taking on new things because I'm a fast learner and I'm a high level learner. So the strength really at certain times in my life, I can see that was the dominant thing. That was the dominant thing in that situation that catapulted, or whatever word you want to use, me through that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there were times when it was definitely resilience. It was definitely, what does this make possible? What does, those are more of the, wow, that came out of left field. What am I going to do with that? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there definitely have been times where resilience was the thing. And then there have been times, but I'm going to say this because this was an aha for me tonight. There have been far fewer times for me that it was curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
It's far more for me has been, what strength am I going to play to in this? And what is this going to make possible? How am I going to leverage this to use this as something to move me forward? I have not taken the pause, I don't think, as much to be curious. And yet, when I have, it's resulted in some of the best experiences I've had. Like I was thinking about when you said, when was the last time you learned something new or tried something new? I was thinking, I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one. I don't know when was the last time I actually ever, I try a lot of new things. I try a new health supplement. I try a new app. But I mean, that to me is different. I mean, what we're talking about here is venturing into something that is more of self-expression, probably. But I've shared this before. I reached a point where I I decided to learn pottery. Now you can understand, that was so out of left field for me. But all of my daughter, my granddaughter are very artistic, and I can't even draw a decent stick figure. So it was like, I don't know, I can't see myself as an artist, but I love pottery. My home has always been filled with pottery. I love pottery for dishes. I'm a pottery
Mm-hmm.
fanatic. So I thought, what would happen if I could make my own pottery? That was curiosity. And that turned into a lifelong now hobby and love for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was my curiosity of, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if, let me explore that and see what that would be like. And um, so I think and it's probably one of the best things I've ever done for myself.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I
You know,
love
it's
that
probably one of the
story.
best things I've ever done, because you know what? You cannot do pottery and be a perfectionist. You cannot.
No.
You cannot do pottery and be a control freak. You
Mm-mm.
cannot. Okay, I was a struggling perfectionist and I've always been a struggling control freak.
Mhm.
Pottery, believe it or not, is what cured me of both of those things.
Mhm. At least in that moment while you're
Yeah, yeah,
creating,
but it just
right?
showed me that you don't have to be in charge to be a part of creating something beautiful. And you don't have to blame yourself if something blows up in the kiln. It happens. You don't have to say, well, I'm not any good at pottery. You just say, wow, that thing blew up. I wonder what the next one's going to do. Right? It teaches
Right.
you a different way to see your creative processes. But thank you for this. This was, I mean, I was thinking about it. I was like, one of these three is always dominant. And the beauty is, what I loved about the way you presented it is, we get to decide which one.
So true. And
We get to
that's what
decide which one and which one will best serve us in this moment.
and that's the beauty of it. It's like
Yeah.
because it's the new year, but you don't have to take this just in January. Use these
Yeah.
steps whenever your day and actually growing into them where they're part of your being will help you get a new perspective on life in general and what's happening around you. So like Chris was saying she got laid off and she's going into freelance work now, Chris. It's like, okay, embracing the curiosity of why this happened and now what strengths are you going to pull from this and how are you going to be more resilient. It's a beautiful three-step concept, and I really love the thought process and the work around it. So Kathy, thank you so much for sharing. Anybody who is sharing inside the chat, it makes it easier to have a conversation. And these webinars, for me, the way I like to do them, so if you see more come out, it's like I like having conversations, and that's what I like to bring resources and information to open up dialogue and have conversation. And it may be just conversation with yourself that you take away, and that's perfectly okay as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit about the empowerment circle. So in case you want to stay in this momentum, you could think about joining us. Okay. So I'm going to just jump in here, and I invited you to stay or go, because it's really important to me to offer this to people who want to hear about it. So the empowerment circle is actually I'm considering it your monthly retreat. You will, sounds great. You may find that everything is good, but you're eager for it to truly be great, right? So if so, the empowerment circle may be just what you need. What this is a 6-month program created by me, and I'm a seasoned life and business coach. And it's designed to help you find clarity, confidence, and purpose. I really love you to consider it your monthly retreat, because how cool is it when we go off on a retreat? Have you gone on retreats before? Right? I've been on a silent retreat a couple of times, and it's absolutely fantastic. And now that you've got to know me a little bit, can you see me on a silent retreat? My husband was kind of like, how's that going to work? You going away for a weekend and not talking? I don't know. But it was amazing. So I wanted to give the opportunity to women to be part of this empowerment circle where they could show up and consider it their monthly retreat. The program that I put together features a collective of wisdom from 5 experts. So each of them offering their unique perspective on personal transformation. Topics that are going to be included are mindset shifts, like getting your mind all set, style, your personal style, nutrition and movement, menopause health, like what happens to us during or after menopause, before menopause, like that whole period of time that things start changing, our bodies change, we put weight on, we're not sleeping, we're sweating, our hair, like everything changes. I wanted to bring a place where this expert will bring information on how to deal with that. And that what's happening is probably normal, right? And then also the financial awareness, financial empowerment. So you'll have the opportunity to be in a group coaching program setting. So the way it's going to work is you'll meet with the expert will run a master class for you. And then 2 weeks later, you'll have a group coaching with me. And there will also be open office hours if you just want to jump in and chat about a particular topic. And we'll bring that all together. And it's all going to take place inside the community of the Purpose Den. But the Purpose Den is my community that I've created of women that come together on a weekly basis for support and accountability. So that's a separate thing than the empowerment circle. But if you're struggling like with exhaustion, that comes with burnout, or always having to be responsible for everything else, you're the anchor, right? And you're trying to understand, like my dad calls me the anchor. He thinks it's a compliment, but it's kind of like, right? Like you're the anchor. It helps you understand that being the anchor at certain times in our life is okay, but how do we set the boundaries around that anchor, being the anchor? Your goal is to wholeheartedly say yes to what feels right for you. These are the things that we'll be going over, because I truly believe that we all desire to live with ease, joy, and peace, right? While we're cultivating daily gratitude for what truly matters. But it's hard to do that because of the noise of busyness, or wearing that badge of honor of being busy. So I just wanted to create this space for you where you can embrace your beauty of inside and out. There's personal and professional conversations going on, like, should I stay? Should I go? What's my vision in 3 to 5, 10 years and beyond? Navigating your relationships, communication style, different professional development steps. There's so much that is available, but I'm doing it over a 6-month period so you don't feel overwhelmed. So we're kicking off on January 31st. It's going to be Wednesday evenings at 7 o'clock. And we're going to meet for the 31st, that's the last Wednesday of January, but that's going to be our kickoff party. You'll get to meet and see everything and get the lay of the land of a workbook of what to accomplish through the period of time. And then we'll meet at the second and third Wednesday of every month from there. And I'm keeping it small. I'm only inviting 15 women because I want it to be an intimate, safe space for women to feel heard, to be seen, to feel comfortable sharing. And it will be your cohort of people that you'll stay with for 6 months and beyond if you decide to stay in the circle. So that's what it's all about. There's a lot more going on there, but I'm really, really excited because we have people from all over coming in as experts. Our menopause health expert is from Sweden. So, and then we got somebody from Texas and Connecticut. And so we have people from all over the place coming to share with us. So if you want more information about the investment or have a conversation with me, just reach out to me so we could talk. Okay. Because I'm super excited about it. And it's really going to be a great resource to for you to experience it monthly. Does anybody have any questions about it? I know I gave you a lot in a short period of time, but I wanted to just to be able to share it with you. Okay. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'll go ahead and share the link for the page that gives you all of this information. All right. And also my calendar link if you wanted to jump on and have a conversation about the empowerment circle or anything else that we talked about tonight, you're welcome to jump on. But I really, really thank you guys for coming. You're welcome, Kathy. And let's see, I'll have to jump off soon. We are all set. I hope we're feeling good and that we're going to take away at least one thing here into the new year and just really live your full life. And remember, your strength, your resilience, and your curiosity will really create new avenues for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My